Good evening to the parents, faculty, students, teachers, principal, and the entire Sousa family community. I am here to speak to you about special education. Learning more about special education at Sousa Middle School, where excellence is the standard. My name is Mrs. Laisha Kemp, Coordinator for the Special Education Department. Sousa's Special Education Department is divided into two parts, the self-contained setting and the inclusion resource setting. The inclusion setting is the practice of providing a student with disabilities with his or her education within the general education classroom, where instructional supports and accommodations are in place for the student's needs. We are currently servicing about 32 students inside the general education setting. The self-contained setting is designed to service students needing more specialized instruction in a smaller class setting. We are currently servicing about 34 students on the Peace Hall, which is what we have named our self-contained sections. Some of the strategies that we are using to reach all students, regardless of their setting, whether they are in inclusion or self-contained, we use small group, peer tutoring, one-to-one instruction, technology, academic intervention programs, Saturday school, after-school tutorial, arts integration, and behavior interventions. Modifications that are placed in special education are, but are not limited to, changes in test or course presentation, location, meaning small pullouts, student responses, whether that is verbal or written, time requirements or other attributes that are necessary to ensure success for a student with disabilities to participate, but do not fundamentally alter or lower the standard or expectation or invalidate any of our standardized tests. Some of our related service providers at Sousa are speech pathologists, social worker, and occupational therapists. Through these interventions or therapeutic options, we are developing the whole child at Sousa. Some of these specific disability categories under IDEA are intellectually disabled, formerly mental retardation, hearing impaired, speech and language impairments, visual impairments, emotional disturbance, orthopedic impairments, other health impairments, specific learning disabilities, deaf and blind, multiple disabilities, autism, and traumatic brain injury. The disabilities currently being serviced at Sousa are specific learning disability or SLD, emotionally disturbed or ED, other health impaired or OHI, multiple disabilities or MD, and intellectual disabilities, which is ID, or formerly MR, which is mental retardation. Here at Sousa, the Special Education Department is dedicated to meeting and exceeding the needs of our students.
What?
If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to write down my contact information. Again, I am the Special Education Coordinator here at Sousa, and my phone number is 202-729-3260, extension 119. My cell phone number is listed, 240-460-4871. And I can always be reached by email at laisha.kemp@dc.gov. And for those of you who cannot actually see this presentation, Laisha is spelled Lay, S as in Sam, HA, Kemp, KEM as in Mary, P as in Paul, @dc.gov. Thank you, and please have a wonderful evening. This concludes the presentation of the Special Education Department at Sousa Middle School, where excellence is the standard.